it's important that you don't overdrive them, guys. If you don't feel comfortable,
Amen. Amen.
do what he did.
Definitely. Let out.
So anybody got any questions while we're waiting on him to come back?
Is that the radiator underneath your trunk? Okay.
That's cool.
Just to get it out of the way?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've seen some guys
very smart
do a real long, like John Force burnout where they sit there and then like man, he just go.
Totally unneeded. That's just all you're doing is overheating the tire and wasting the rubber.
Oh, okay.
Burnout. And you're committing a cardinal sin, by the way.
Standing in it.
Oh shit, my bad. My bad.
That's one thing that absolutely boils my freaking hide. That's why we're all here to learn, right?
Yeah, sir.
But when you're standing around the starting line, jack-jawing with your buddies and stuff, be careful where you're standing. Because a lot of people stand over here in the dirt, in the grass.
Right.
You know, hey man, how you doing? You know, and they're tracking this shit out here.
Right.
And they just stand there and ruin one lane. And it's always worse in one lane than the other because that's the side the staging lanes are on.
Right.
So the left lane, they come out here, the left lane always gets tracked in worse than the right because that's where they're coming from.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if you get stuck in the late rounds, you're going to see this a lot in the late rounds when there's a lot of time between rounds, the cars are cooling down. There's going to be a lot more people screwing around between the late rounds.
Right.
And it gets harder. If you get towards the final and there's a lot of time between rounds,
Yeah.
you're going to have a lot of jack going out here. A lot of people standing around bullshitting and standing out here and tracking shit out in the tracks. And that's where the lint rolling comes in. It's very important that you guys pay close attention to your lane. And if you're racing someplace you're not familiar with, around a lot of guys you're not familiar with, especially if you're in Northeast or up in Michigan, a little different attitude up there. Okay? A little different attitude up here. There's people betting on the starting line, and they don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about his boy. They don't give a shit about my boys. They're trying to get paid.
Right. Right.
And if that means they need to throw a little something on that lane to make sure they get paid, they will do it.
That's fun.
So you got to watch, guys. You got to have somebody that's understanding what's going on. Because the side bets, that's outside of the drag racing thing. They don't give a shit about the driver. They don't care about the car. They're trying to get paid.
You encounter that more at the track or on the street?
Street. Because the track usually is a more controlled environment. On the street, anybody can walk up.
Anybody can throw whatever they want on it, right?
So you got to watch that stuff.
So if we got a big mixture of cars and some of them are coming in off the street, you got to watch following a hard compound tire, don't you? It'll eat up some of that rubber.
It can.
That's
It
why they're
can.
on a small tire first, usually, or big tire.
Now, a lot of times they'll take a cone, like National Trails. They've got a pretty decent guy down there that knows what's up. And that guy will take a cone and set the cone right in the middle of the good tire track and make the hard tire cars run over here.
That's smart. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But not every place is like that. Not every place has somebody like Mr. Lady down the trails who knows better because he's out here prepping the track and he knows, you know. But if you've got a hard tire class, that's a good idea. Talk to your track personnel or somebody. Set a cone right in one of the best tire grooves, and then that way the hard tire cars can't get in it and they have to stay out here out of the way. Because when they leave the starting line with a hard tire and they're spinning, they just tear the rubber right off the blacktop and there's nothing left. All right?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else got any more questions? Now's the time before we bring everybody up.
I got here late. The lint roll you're talking about, that was you just burned it out to clean it off again? Is what the lint roll is for? Is that what you called it?
Lint roll, drive out, back up, then do your burnout right up there.
Okay.
He recorded it.
Yes, sir. I got it. I got it on
Okay.
video and everything.
I was running late, but yeah, okay, I got you.
Anybody got any more questions before we bring your guys' cars
Other
up?
than the weight transfer, what do you think?
Oh, we'll see when we get up here. I've made five passes on my car, and it always like hit second gear and go sideways.
Yeah.
We put sandbags together, and I forgot to bring them. I know it ain't the best idea. Super stock springs on no power pins.
Okay, so you're getting 50 demerits now.
No shit.
Sandbags.
Okay.
I'd like
no-no.
to kick your ass. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Good thing we didn't bring them.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, big no-no. A And you're going to encounter this. You're going to encounter this guy. You're going to encounter this guy eventually. He's got his super stock springs on his Dodge. Okay? And his trunk full of sandbags. You got any rust holes in the trunk?
No, sir, it's brand new. Yeah, it's
I
good.
bet
No, I ain't losing no
I
sand.
bet there's a jagged edge someplace. But somebody's going to have a car with rust holes in the trunk and a bunch of goddamn sandbags. And we've been behind them going into the final before,
Wow.
going into the semifinal, and we come up here and the car right ahead of us.
Wow.
Dumping
all
sand
the way
everywhere.
down.
Wow.
You need your ass kicked if you've got sandbags in the trunk. Don't do it. Make your weight bars, fill them with ballast, seal them up. Do not show up to a no prep with sandbag in the back of the car. Don't do it. I've done it. We've done it. That's how we got started. I'm telling you, don't. Take the time, because here's what I'm going to tell you. We used to run sandbags in the back of Billy's truck. We could put 400 pounds of sand on the bed floor, and 400 pounds of sand on the bed floor won't do what 125 pounds does at the top of the taillights right below the tonneau.
Oh, wow. Okay, that makes sense.
Because remember I showed on the arm? Leverage. I can put 100 pounds up here, right underneath this tonneau cover, right in front of the taillights. 100 pounds up there did more for that truck than 400 pounds laying on the bed floor.
Okay.
And then I don't have to carry the extra 300 down the track.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So guys, please, when you're setting up your roll cages, keep that in mind. If you're wanting to build a no prep car, put your roll bars in a place where you can bolt weight to them up high. Sometimes that's the down bars. Make sure it's secured, of course. But back in the back, right where the taillights are, as high as you can get it, right underneath the deck lid. If you put a minimal amount of weight there, it will do more for you than 200 or 300 pounds laying on the trunk floor or down in the wheel well.
Okay. Wow.
And then you don't have to carry it on the way down. So that's the difference between running 120 mile an hour and 125 miles an hour.
Definitely.
And not only that, but you're going to pick up a tenth or so in the 60 foot, not having to move that extra 300 pounds. Okay? Another thing I want to cover today, while everybody's here and got your attention. Tire tubes. How many of you guys run tubes in your tires? Nobody. This guy? We run tubes in our tires. Anybody want to guess why?
So don't beat the sidewalls out.
You will get, as you get faster, I'm talking about down into the 5-second range, 8th mile. As you get faster, you'll find that your cars, especially if they're heavy, will always be better on a radial, on a prep track. No prep, you want to run a slick, but the radial, or the tube, carries the weight of the car. Let me say that again. The tube carries the weight of the car. If you don't have a tube in your tire, you have to run more air pressure, because now the sidewalls are trying to hold up the weight and accelerate the car. Let the tube carry the weight. Let the sidewall accelerate the car. The tube holds the center of the tire flat against the surface. You ever taken a slick and let all the air out of it and you watch the center bow in?
Yeah.
Well, they bow out too, but they'll bow in as you get low on air pressure, and you'll see that your burnout marks are dark on the edges and not in the center. Like